Last one. Now this is actually an old set of word problems that we used way back in the day with slope-intercept form. And Jim and Sherry, that's my siblings. Jim is my younger brother, Sherry's my older sister. So I use family names a lot and student names. So let's talk about Jim. I'm going to have one equation that's just for Jim. And so he started out with $10. Oh, and by the way, these can be written in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So as far as Jim goes, he started off with $10. That's his y-intercept. So a positive 10 is his y-intercept because that's what he started off with in his bank account. And he gives away, okay? So that means he's going to have a negative slope because he is giving away money. His money is decreasing. And the amount it's decreasing is $2 every day. So I'm going to subtract $2 times however many days there are. So the equation for Jim is y equals negative 2x plus 10. If you are unsure about slope-intercept form and how to create equations, you need to look back at your previous practice assignments because I spend more time on that whenever you were learning that. So if you feel like you need that review, just check back on a previous practice assignment where you see you're going over slope-intercept form and making equations. Alright, so now let's change the color up and let's talk about Sherry. Alright, so this is for Sherry's equation. It's also going to be in slope-intercept form, so I can go ahead and write y equals. Sherry started off with $1 in the bank account, so that's her y-intercept is starting off at 1. And her bank account but saves 1/4. Now here's the key, is she saves 1/4 of a dollar, so she's going to have a positive slope. So she saves $1 every 4 days. Alright? So 1/4 of a dollar times however many days. So her equation is going to look like this. Y equals 1/4 x plus y. So now you can solve this any way that you want. I'm going to go ahead and use substitution. I'll tell you why. Because I know y equals all of this stuff. So what that means is I can put all that stuff in for y. And whenever I do that, my equation is going to look like this. I'm going to have negative 2x plus 10 equals 1/4 x plus 1. Alright? Now you could have solved this using elimination. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so now I'm going to pick a variable side and a number side. I'm going to say this is my number side and this is my variable side. And that also doesn't matter. You're going to get the right answer no matter what. So I'm going to get rid of my variables. So I'm going to add 2x to this side and add 2x to that side. Now we're going to have to do some review because this part right here, you're adding / subtracting fractions. Okay, so you can think this is an easy one because you can kind of think of it like money. If you've got $2 and you add 1/4 of a dollar, because that's a positive 1/4, that means you're going to have 2 1/4 dollars. So it's 2 1/4 x. And now I'm just going to write the rest of my equation. I'm going to subtract 1 on this side and subtract 1 on this side. I'm left with 9 equals 2 1/4 x. So I'm going to divide this side by 2 1/4, and then I'm going to divide this side by 2 1/4. This part right here, this is the part that's going to throw some of you off because you're going to have to think back to 6th grade on how you would do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this part and I'm going to show you how you would do it up here. So we've got 9/1 divided by 2 1/4. The first thing that we have to do is we have to take this mixed number, and you learned this in 6th grade, we need to turn it into an improper fraction. So the way you do that is you say 4 times 2 equals 8. And then you're going to add your numerator. So 4 times 2 equals 8 plus 1 is 9. So that's the same as saying 9/4. Alright, so now we're still in 6th grade mode. We're going to keep the first fraction, change the operation, and flip the last fraction. So now my equation is going to look like this. 9/1 times 4/9. See, I changed that to a multiplication and then I flipped that right there. So now I just multiply across. I have 9 times 4 equals 36. 1 times 9 equals 9. 36 divided by 9, that can be simplified. 36 divided by 9 equals 4. So now I'm going to take this and I'm coming back to where I left off. And I have that 4 equals x. So there is part of my answer. So now that I know that 4 equals x, I can sub that in for I can sub 4 in for x, and it doesn't matter which equation you use. I'm going to use that second equation. So it's going to look like this. The second equation will look like this. Y equals 1 over 4 times, and then for x, I'm going to put 4. I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a fraction because this is a fraction, and I need to multiply fractions. So 1 times 4 equals 4. 4 times 1 equals 4. And then don't forget your plus 1. And 4 divided by 4 equals 1. So I'm left with 1 plus 1. So that means that y equals 1 plus 1 is 2. So here's my answers. I've got x equals 4, y equals 2. What this means is that after 4 days have passed, they will both have the same amount of money, which will be $2.